All right, we're on hole number 8 of the dreaded Dunes tournament. Or excuse me, hole number 9. Sorry about that. Hole number 9. I am so excited about this hole because our goal is to get onto this fairway pad, and I really don't care where. Anywhere on that fairway pad. And you now have a short iron albatross shot. And so the whole goal is to get onto that pad. It's on that pad or in the rough. I'm going to, I started the week off. I will say this. Okay, let's go look at this hole. See if we can get rid of that stuff at the top up there. When you're bleeding through, I started the week off with a big topper, and my red line was in this area with a 3 power ball. Okay, and I was using a Titan, the king of balls. Right, and so with the wind going, and I think the wind's blowing in this direction. With the wind blowing, I can kind of get out into this mouth with max overpower. And with my low level account, because of where the big topper hits, my first bounce is out here and my second bounce is right here. And so my third bounce clips and rolls through. It hits about 3/4 of the way down in the rough and rolls through, and it'll bleed out. And sometimes you'll just get off, and sometimes you can get, not midway, but maybe a third of the way out in here. With my upper level account with a big topper, it hits a little bit farther. So that's the second bounce is in the rough up here towards the top, only about a quarter of the way into the rough. And it doesn't have enough to dig itself all the way out. It gets about halfway out, and then it gets stuck in the rough. So I went back yesterday in my practice account and I used a power 3 ball in an extra mile, and my red line's up here and I can get past this. So then it's all about that second shot. So if you look at where the second shot is on your extra mile, you want that second shot so that when you're working this arc right here, so you're working this rough, and I think that's as close as I can get. So if your first bounce is here and your second bounce is here, then you want to stay a couple rings away from this rough, and you have to understand that if you hit a grate to the left, you have shorter distance over here. The farther you go forward, the further away you are from the rough. And the more you go to the left, you shorten up that distance so you don't have, so, if you do the swing for your second bounce is here, and you do the swing at some point out here, that second bounce is going to end up in the rough. So you want to make sure you leave yourself enough distance. So if you hit back here, great to the left or the right, you can still catch it on the other side. So the way you do that is your ball guide's going out in this direction. So you'd find your wedge spot out here where you gave yourself enough distance, 5 rings or however many you can eyeball it out there. And then you're going to have to put curl in order to get it to go back out. So what I did with the 3 power ball was I did this shot, and I actually ended up coming in through the middle part of the fairway and bled off into the rough out here. And then I opened the shot up a little bit so that I was coming out at a little more of an angle, and I hit it great to the right and ended up bleeding through this and ended up in this area right here where if I went to the left, I had plenty of fairway down here. So I've ended up in this area, and I've ended up in this area on this, trying to dial the shot in with the extra mile. Now my teammate tells me that if I use a power 5 ball, that second bounce is almost already in this fairway. And so I'm going to try a power 5 ball on this, because the whole deal is that if we can do whatever it takes to bring out a short iron to take an albatross shot, we have to pull out whatever's in our bag in order to get that shot done. So I'm still, even though we're in the opening round, I'm still practicing shots and still trying to dial in exactly what my goal is on each hole. So I'm going to take an extra mile. I'm going to take a power 5 ball. I'd really like to take a power 5 ball that's got some wind on it for the second shot. I really like to take these gridiron balls, but I've got these earmarked for hole number, the par 4. I think those are really my only power 5 balls. Those are a little wind. That's a 4. That's a It's a 5 too. That side spin might be enough. I'm going to take an autumn ball. We'll see how that works. That cuts the wind down on the second shot a little. I think I'm taking wind out on the first shot. So I'm going to take an autumn ball and write that down. Autumn. Try to quit dropping my the second shot. I definitely want a Hornet. I want the most accurate short iron that I have in my bag. The one you feel the most comfortable with, the one that you can sink shots if you hit it perfect. This all boils down to, the whole deal is you're trying to work yourself into a spot where you have the perfect spot with the right club, with the right ball, and all it boils down to is if you hit it perfect, it goes in the hole. They don't end tournaments with holes that have Albie shots like this very often. Usually the 9th hole is a pretty tough hole. And so you could storm into the end of a tournament and be in these last 3 holes and hole in one, eagle, Albie. Yesterday I was playing my proxy account and I had some timeout issues. Big time timeout issues. Okay, so the wind's going to push me forward 2 rings. So if it goes forward 2, I'm going to take half the wind out. I'm going to take 2 of the wind out. I'm going to leave 2 of the wind in. Just try and hit it straight forward. Yeah, 1 ring great to the left. I want to watch my bounces to see, like, just without any overpower, it's already in the rough. Or am I going to have to use overpower there? Because it's getting a little more carry than it looks. I'll have to go back and watch and see where the first bounce landed and where I know the second bounce was in the rough, but where the first bounce landed, could have taken all of the wind out there, and it looks like it's going downhill, so I probably want to take out more. Okay, I still have a serious shot at this. I play a lot with my Nirvana, and I like. Okay, so there's max. There's max. There's mid. So we're in the 2.5 per ring. 2.5 per ring range. Go right at it. I'm gonna go 1 ring. Try and hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. See if I got my wind adjustment right. Pretty close. I got my distance wrong. I got my wind adjustment right. If it had went through, I think I would have missed on the outside of the cup, but that's pretty close. Close. Arr. Where's the arr emoji? This one, the second one in just doesn't quite do it, but I might. Oh. Okay, my opponent's coming out with a Goliath. Yeah, just a little farther away from where I was at was short iron range. And the hole becomes dead dead look at Albie. You hit perfect. Perfect. I will forfeit. My plan is I'm going to shoot this video, and then I'm going to upload the front 9, take a break, take a shower, get dressed, drink a cup of coffee, and come back and shoot the back 9. And I still have my lower level account to play. We'll forfeit and donate to the community. All right, that was hole number 9. Good luck in the tournament. Hole number 9 of the dreaded dunes. All right, ended up with a minus 15. So that's the getting all of the par 4s. And the hole number 1 is what I've learned in this round is hole number 1. I've picked my pony in hole number 1. I'm gonna just lay it up, take a hornet shot every single time I get to that hole. And if I hit that hornet shot perfect, it's going to go in the cup. And if I don't hit it perfect, it'll be off and I'll go to the next one. And I give myself a really good shot at getting eagle every time versus going out there and going for trying to get it up through the gap and getting the serious eagle shot maybe 30% of the time, and then having some recovery shot that you can hit out of the rough or the sand or from behind the trees to pick it up. I think I'm going to go for the consistent, like go for the eagle shot every time with a hornet. Hole number 2, I'm just going to play these par 3s. I'm going for hole in 1 from the spot that I picked. Hole number 3, you got a pretty decent Albie shot on hole number 3. Just looking at my notes here. Hole number 4, we're back on the par 3s. Hole number 5, that par 4 right there. That's the one we absolutely have to get. This one we have to get. Hole number 5, we absolutely have to get an eagle on that hole. I mean, of the par 4s, if we're looking at it as a player and you're trying to get to the top of the bracket, you know, if you just played the minimum of minus 12 per side and you wanted to raise that up so that you get your overall score at 26 so you can get into you can separate yourself from the herd, then this is the hole right here. You have to look at this hole as being whatever, like if you don't have the ball inventory or whatever, this is the hole right here that you bring out whatever it takes to get the eagle on this hole. Because you're going to be able to do hole number 1 if you just play it consistent out there. Heck, you can do the drive shot. Mike D and I were just talking about this. You can do the drive shot with I believe you can do it with a quarterback or a rock and just be super accurate down there, lay it up to the spot that you want to be in, work your distances down there as far as like how much topspin you can put on it. It'll only take one time of over hitting it and you'll know exactly how much is too much topspin. And just lay it up out there and take a hornet shot every time and give yourself that opportunity on hole number 1 for eagle every single time you get there. And you don't have to bring in any big stuff to do that. Hole number 2, hole number 3. Hole number 3, I'm bringing out a Titan, so you don't have to bring out anything special. Hole number 4, hole number 5. Hole number 5 is where I'm bringing out a power 5 ball. I'm bringing out a gridiron ball to try and make that shot so that it's standardized. I don't have to do any overpower. I can get up in front with an extra mile. And if you have a Apocalypse that has a little more topspin, you can probably get on with an Apocalypse. But with the extra mile, you're just if you don't put any overpower on it, you're just a little short where you still have some work to do. Hole number 6, I am absolutely going to play that hole safe. I'm not dinking around on hole number 6. I'm doing the layup shot in front and I'm going with the big dog and going at it that way. I'm not going to ruin my round on hole number 6. I think there's a bunch of people that are going to get the hole number 6 and that shot's going to work out for them and they're doing it. And then in the weekend round, if you catch that one time, either 6 or 15, and you catch that hole one time and you blow that hole and you don't get that eagle, anything you picked up that you worked so hard to pick up, you just dropped on that hole right there when there was a super easy way to get eagle. I'm going to go for the super easy way to get eagle. That's not one of my ponies. I'm going to play it safe there because I'm coming into these last 3 and you really have the opportunity in the last 3. That is a serious hole-in-one par 3. And then you have hole number 8, which I'm also bringing out a power 5 ball. And I've changed a little on how I'm playing that hole. You can watch that hole. I've changed how I'm playing that hole a little bit. So I'm just trying to get myself out in front so that I have a raker to get in and try and pick up. I'm really focused on the par 4s. I want to make sure that I give myself the shot. I think hole number 5 and hole number 8, hole number 5, I think, is our absolute best shot. Hole number 8 is our second best shot, and it's almost as good as hole number 5. And hole number 1 is just a little bit tougher because we're not in wedge range, we're in short iron range. And what we've been trying to do, or at least what I've been trying to do, is I've been trying to hit it up there so that I was in wedge range. Because if you get up on hole number 1 in wedge range, it's very makeable, obviously. But the deal is that it's very tricky to get up in wedge range every time consistently. Whereas you can get into your short iron range every time consistently, and that shot's more consistent. And hole number 9, I'm definitely trying to put myself in the spot to get an Albie on hole number 9. And even with the rough iron out there, I think your chances are pretty good. I mean, that's still a pretty decent shot to be in. Not quite. I was in between mid max and my Nirvana, and I was hitting it about 2.5 per ring. All right, that was hole number 9. I will catch you on the back. Thanks for watching.